Okay, so we're back on the 2013 Street Glide Tri-Bar LED light. Just wanted to do a second video. Already talked about the plug that's underneath the side push-on cover here. As far as the wiring goes, I figured I would give you some information on the turn signals. On the input connector here, which is going into the module, you want to hook the green wire that comes off the light to the brown wire that is in this connector right here. And you want to hook the brown wire that is on the light for the turn signal to the violet or purple wire that is on this connector here. That gives you your turn signals. All right, so I did the potting epoxy. If you can see that there on the circuit board. Talked about that in the last video, the 3M DP270. If you can tell right there that the entire circuit board is completely covered in epoxy, and there's no way for water to get to it. I smoothed out some of the edges. Still not perfect, but better than it was from where I cut the light, the old Tri-Bar light off of this back part of the housing there. There's screws and clips there, like you could just pop it off, but apparently they probably use some kind of epoxy too to seal that all together as a unit so that it's waterproof. But you can see there's your input connector, there's the output connector, everything's plugged in. I'll go ahead and turn the bike on. I have a bad light apparently. You can see that there's in the bottom left, kind of toward the middle, there's a couple LEDs that aren't lighting up. It's dark there. Everything else works fine, so I'm thinking I got a bad unit. Here's the left turn signal. And the right turn signal. So that's all good, and the brakes work too. But anyway, I just wanted to do a little follow-up video there, give you some more information. I still have to tuck the unit up behind the new Tri-Bar light, which shouldn't be a big deal because it's a lot, half as deep as the stock one, just because this isn't on there and what have you. So anyway, there's your follow-up video. I think everything else is pretty much covered. Like I said before, if you have any questions, just shoot a message. I do have one tip though, when you're using this potting epoxy on this unit here. Put a piece of tape, there's some holes right here, so I put a piece of electrical tape over that before I did the epoxy so it wouldn't run down in there. But I did still get some running, and it ran down into where the connectors were, and I had to kind of scrape that out to be able to plug it back in. So be careful when you do that, because you probably will have some extra there, and that could create a problem. So don't let it get too dry. You want it to be maybe 3 or 4 hours dry, and you should be able to scrape it out if you have any runoff there. But other than that, everything went okay, and I don't see any problems. Also, make sure you use shrink wrap on all your wiring, and heat shrink tubing, that is. And thanks for looking.